What's up, everybody, and welcome to J Sports Network edition of Week 13 FBS College Football Recap. Now, let's get right into this. Now, our first game, the final score of this game, Penn State and Ohio State playing this game with Ohio State coming out on top, 28-17. Let's get right into these stats. Penn State had a 227 total yards, while Ohio State had 417 total yards. Penn State had 128 passing yards, Ohio State 188 rushing passing yards. Penn State 99 rushing yards, and Ohio State had 229 rushing yards. As we can see from this game, Ohio State was on top. Ohio State had a big lead, but Penn State came storming back, trying to get back into the game. Our game leaders following after this game are Penn State's quarterback Sean Clifford went 16-17 passes with 71 yards, no touchdowns or interceptions. Ohio State's quarterback Justin Fields led the way with 16-22 passing, 188 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Now, rushing leaders we had Penn State's Journey Brown with 11 carries, 64 yards, and 1 touchdown. Ohio State's J.K. Dobbins had 36 carries, 151 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And the wide receivers who led the way, Penn State's K.J. Howler, might be Homer. I think it's Homer. He had 3 catches for 95 yards, no touchdowns. Ohio State's K.J. Hill had 4 catches, 46 yards, and 1 touchdown. This is an all-out good game. J Sports Network players of the game for this one was quarterback Justin Fields and running back J.K. Dobbins. Now, this is a very great game. I watched it from beginning to end. And Penn State, they were off in the beginning, but they started to try to come back. They missed the opportunity to tie up the game when they had scored 2 touchdowns back to back. Then they'll get close to scoring the third, but they got a field goal. It would have been 21-21 at one point, but it wasn't. But Ohio State is now looking to keep on moving on as they get ready for their next game versus Michigan. So that should be another good game out there. But now let's get right into our second game. Our second game between number 25 SMU and Navy. We have an upset here with Navy winning over SMU 35-28. This is a very interesting game, and we're going to get right into how interesting this game was after we go through all the stats. SMU had 344 total yards, while Navy had 540. SMU had 251 passing yards. Navy had 162 passing yards. SMU 93 rushing yards, and Navy came out there running that ball down the field, 378 total rushing yards. Our game leaders. The quarterback for SMU, Shane, went 16 of 28 for passing, 251 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Navy's quarterback, Malcolm Perry, went 9 of 15 passing, 162 yards, and 1 touchdown. Rushing leaders, SMU, Xavier Jones, 18 carries, 61 yards, and 1 touchdown. Navy's Malcolm Perry, he's a quarterback, but he also ran that ball. 36 carries, 195 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Receiving leaders, Rasheed Rice for SMU, 3 catches, 76 yards, and 1 touchdown. And Navy's wide receiver, Ryan Mitchell, 3 carries, 48 yards, and 1 touchdown. Now, this was a great game from beginning to end. If you watched this game, you really enjoyed yourself. I'm telling you right now, after the ending of that game was very interesting. Malcolm Perry, the quarterback for Navy, ran 70 yards for the game-winning touchdown, which wound up being the game-winning touchdown. They won that game. Navy came out there with that winning mentality, following the loss last week to the Notre Dame at Notre Dame. But they came out there on the field and got their win in front of their home fans, and they're looking to keep their winning momentum going as they get forward to their next game. Now let's get into, I'm about to forget something. And the player of this game, J Sports Network player of the game for this one was Malcolm Perry. Not obvious there. Malcolm Perry did have a very great game. Our third game is another upset. Number 6, Oregon versus Arizona State. Now, Oregon and Arizona State. Now, Oregon should have won this game. Oregon had the offense, the team, just everything better than Arizona State. But Arizona State came out there and got that win. Let's get right to these stats. Oregon had 458 total yards. Arizona State had 535 total yards. Oregon had 204 passing yards, while Arizona State had 408 passing yards. Oregon had 154 rushing yards, and Arizona State had 127 rushing yards. Now, The game leaders for this game are not surprising. Oregon, Justin Herbert, quarterback, 20 of 36 passing, 304 yards, 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Arizona State freshman quarterback, Jalen Daniels, 22 of 32, 408 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Now that's some great stats right there. Then we got the rushing leaders. Oregon C.J. Verdale had 18 carries, 99 yards, no touchdowns. Arizona State Eno Benjamin had 31 carries, 114 yards, and no touchdowns. Receiving leaders. Oregon, Johnny Johnson, 10 catches, 270 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Arizona State Brandon, wide receiver, 7 catches, 161 yards, and 1 touchdown. This is a great game. Oregon was down in this game. Believe it or not, Oregon was literally struggling in this game. They came back, almost got themselves where they could have won the game, but they lost at the end as the onside kick was not successful. The player of this game, J Sports Network player of the game, is Jalen Daniels, quarterback for Arizona State, as he had a very tremendous game out there as Arizona State gets that win over number 6 ranked Oregon. Now let's get right here to our final game. Now this game was a blowout. Utah versus Arizona. Utah, number 7 Utah, won 35-7. Let's get right here into the stats. Utah had 517 total yards, while Arizona was nowhere to be found with yards. They only had 196 total yards. Utah, 220 passing yards. Arizona, 135 passing yards. Utah, 297 rushing yards, and Arizona, a pitiful 61 rushing yards. The game leaders for this game are Utah, Tyler Huntley, went 19 of 23 passing, 211 yards, 1 touchdown and 1 interception. Arizona's Grant Gunnell, he went 8 of 16 passing, 96 yards, and no touchdowns. The rushing leaders for this game were Utah's Zach Moss. He had 26 carries, 203 yards, and 1 touchdown. Arizona's running back J.J. Taylor went 10 carries, 33 yards, and no touchdowns. Now our receiving leaders in this game were Utah's Brant Cuthie. I think his name is Cuthie. I'll put everything will be in the description below. See all the stats from each game. If you know how to pronounce his last name, please let me know. 4 catches, 81 yards, no touchdowns. Arizona Cedric Peterson, 4 catches, 63 yards, and no touchdowns. Now, this game was just a blowout from the beginning. Utah came out on the field, had a good offense, good defense. It just went on way to victory. Player of this game was running back Zach Moss for Utah, as he had 26 carries, 203 yards, and 1 touchdown. Now, this is going to bring us to the end of this episode of J Sports Network edition of College Football FBS Division Week 13 breakdown. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the FCS recap of their games. Have a great day.